Hello everyone, this is Andre, and I will be covering the last full zone, Gigantic Angel. This zone in particular, I have Act 1 is pretty simple. Act 2 though is a bit more complex. And then the boss, unfortunately though, is definitely the hardest thing of this zone, as well as possibly the entire game in general. So that'll be covered in another video, however, since that will be covered like more in a live setting where I'll be playing the game for a bit and I'll be like highlighting some key points and whatnot. So, all right. So Act 1 here is just basic movement, executing like just about everything correctly, and as long as you do that, the level's not that bad at all. So first off here, you want to start the level with a 6-tap spin dash, or you can do a 4-tap as well. And you want to jump around this like part of the ground right here. Like you'll see that there's like this caution texture right here that spans for like this length, and then there's like this red square in the background, and I would say a good rule of thumb is to like try and jump like in between these two things, so like this. But if you're doing a 4-tap, you might want to jump a bit like closer. I would say maybe like when Sonic is like the right edge is aligned with like the middle here, and you have like plenty of space for this jump. And if you time this too late, which that shouldn't ever happen, you'll just like bump this like yellow thing on the ground, and that'll kill all of your speed. But yeah, so you're just holding right here this whole time, and then you're waiting for the left edge of Sonic to be aligned with like this vertical line that's made up of this black thin line and then this like light blue one. So like wait until there, and then that's where you do your full jump. And you're still holding right this whole time. And then when you bump this wall, you're getting ready to do a 2-tap spin dash. You have to wait a bit here because otherwise, if you go too soon, then you'll end up getting crushed by these two pistons right here. So try and time your 2-tap so that you'll go through as soon as like the way is clear, like that. And then you're going to end up landing on this slope, and once you do, you want to do a jump off of it so you get some speed here, and then you can clear through these two pistons before they go up. And then this right here, you want to do like a full jump or a mid-high right here, so you're not doing one too soon, so you don't bump this red spring, nor do you do it too late that you flat out don't get your jump and you fall down. So you'll be brought into this uh, teleporter thing, and then you'll go here. And then this whole time, once you go like into like this like thing right here, you want to go neutral the whole time. Don't do anything here, otherwise you'll mess up your ascension. And then right before you hit like these yellow bumpers the last time, you want to start holding left, and you want to position yourself around right here. Uh, you don't want to be too far left, nor you don't want to be too far right. And then just do a 1-tap spin dash and do like a small jump. You want this to be neutral for a bit, and then you want to start holding left. Because if you're holding left the whole time, then pretty likely you'll find it pretty awkward to position yourself on this piston or cylinder once it like shoots up, and that like yeah brings you upward when that thing shoots from the ground. So just again real quick. Just hug this thing, do like a small jump, and then try and do that, and then there you go. And then this part right here, you're just holding right. There's these two horizontal lines in the ground. There's like this light blue one, and then there's this red one. You want to count to like about the 3 of these red lines that you go through. And when you're in the middle of like this line, basically, this is where you want to do your full jump, and then you'll clear through this somewhat narrow opening, and you'll go straight into the next teleporter thing here. And then once you get out of this one, this end, you have to wait a little bit because Sonic is kind of suspended a bit where you can't really move. But once that is over, do a one-tap spin dash. And then this right here, you want to do a jump off of like around this part of the wall right here. I would say in the middle is where you want to like time it. This is somewhat tight, but once you practice it, it's not that bad. And then this right here, around when you get like onto this conveyor belt, which this one moves to the right, you want to do a full jump and basically have like the result be this. This jump is sort of awkward because if you do it too late, then this kind of messes up like the next jump you have to do, and if it's too early, then I think you'll hit that piston, so be careful on that. And then this right here, you want to jump around like right here, but if you're trying to react to this, then you're waiting for like this right edge to be aligned with like this right here, this line. This jump takes a bit of practice to do, but once you get it, it's not too bad either. And if you do that just right, you won't land on this conveyor belt, and you won't land on this platform either. You'll fall right in between. And then this right here, you want to do like a small jump around the edge. And that'll bring you to this flat slope right here. This is a pretty essential like step, 100%. And then the next jump you do is, this jump isn't as tight as it looks. You kind of want to jump like right here. Give yourself some room to get the jump out before you like fall down by accident, so like that, and there you go. You'll clear through like that. And then you're just like with this jump right here. Just like this jump, you're waiting for like the right or the left edge to be aligned with like this like line thing here. This is, you want to do like a mid jump, so you land around like close to the middle of this conveyor belt, do another mid jump, like around as soon as you land, and then do a full jump here. You want to make sure that you have a good amount of room for yourself to jump instead of like being over here when you land, because it makes things a bit more difficult, and you could very likely mess up this last part. So if you do this right, you'll land right onto this cylinder, and then you just have to hold right. If you get here a bit too much with enough speed, you might have to like let go of right a bit and then readjust yourself. And if you do everything right, then you'll get like a 33 or a 34-second time if you kind of end up being slow a bit somewhere in here, especially like, yeah, this part here. If you have to let go of right for a bit. And there you go. That is Act 1. There's like an alternative thing that you can do here in the middle of the level. I don't really recommend this at all whatsoever. This was like something that I did before I actually looked up stuff to do for this tutorial, so the old way was doing it like this, where you just stop and then you just do like a spin dash here, and then I align Sonic's right edge with like the beginning of this third red line, and then you just barely clear through like that. I would not recommend this at all because it basically gives no like time gain or anything like that. So this, I would say this is like pretty This is negligible, don't do this, unless you really want to. And, yeah, that covers Act 1. Alright, so Act 2. Act 2 is, a level that can be pretty hard, but you can make it not so bad if, you make some minor adjustments onto, certain parts in this level. So Act 2 starts with this cutscene here where Sonic just runs up here and then Eggman brings him down with this like that thing there. And this first part already is like pretty important. You're looking at these like 2 red squares right here as you're falling down. And a bit after when that second red square goes off screen, you want to start holding right. Because you're aligning yourself for like the next part of the level, which is like you're going to be spin dashing up something. So yeah, be sure you touch the wall like that, and then you want to do a 4-tap spin dash as soon as you land. If you hold right a bit too early, you'll accidentally like end up hitting this red spring, and you don't want that obviously. Too late, and you might end up not like touching this wall at all, and that'll cause like a bit of a delay before you can do your spin dash. Alright, so do a 4-tap as fast as you can. You can just hold right here. Do like a high jump here, mid-high, high, and then do another one right after, and then do another mid-high here. And then you can just hold right at this point. And when you get to like this slope right here, you want to switch from holding right and then holding left and doing like a full jump right after. And once you get around here, let go of left a bit, so you give yourself enough space to avoid this crab. And then right here, you want to do a jump like around right here, so you can land right on like the middle of this platform right here. And initially, I'm not going to be talking about going up on this slope. I'll cover that in the advanced version of this level, which is what I'll talk about after this initial movement that you want to do here. So you jump on this conveyor, then you work your way up, and then you try to land on this platform here, and then you want to do a 4-tap towards this teleporter thing here. So as soon as you get out, you want to do a 4-tap spin dash. Do a mid or a mid-high jump. Give yourself like enough room to like touch this wall, and then there's a red spring down here that you want to touch. You can do like some loop jumps here, but I wouldn't recommend them if you're learning the level initially. You can do them once you get more comfortable. And then around right here on this slope, you want to get like a mid or a mid-high jump out, and you want it to basically be like this high and no higher than that. Like sometimes you can go like this motion, but sometimes you'll be like this, and that's totally fine. But as long as you don't jump too high, or you don't jump at a point where you end up like jumping like right here instead of there. So once you do that, these pistons will just be out of your way. Do like a small jump around here. And then hold left a bit if you need to, so you don't accidentally touch this like rotating platform. Then do a full jump here. And then you're just holding right this whole time. And then when you get to like, I held left here a bit too early, but if you switch from holding right to left, like while you're going through this gap, and then as soon as like you get on this conveyor belt, then you can like jump straight up, and then you'll touch this yellow spring. If you hold right early enough, then you can end up touching this yellow spring right after, instead of like a bit of a delay that can happen, and then you'll fall down to it. And then there's another yellow spring there, and then try and land right here. It doesn't really matter, but give yourself some space for this next part. Do a 4-tap spin dash. And then you want to do a full jump around like right there. I kind of did it right at the edge, but it doesn't need to be that tight. And then do a full jump around here. on the edge as well, and then this one as well. So 3 in a row. And sometimes you can accidentally get slowed down by landing on like this part of the slope sometimes, which I'm not sure why that happens, but you can minimize your chances of that happening if you just like do these jumps like this at the edge and all that. And then you'll come up to this section right here, and you'll see that there's like this floating platform that's in midair, and when you're initially learning the level, you should slow down a bit like this, holding right. And then you want to land like on this left edge of the platform, and then jump your way up to this yellow spring. And then this part here. So once you get to like around this part, there's like two things that you can do like two things here. So as soon as you get your jump out, so this way, as soon as I get my jump out, and you don't want to touch this like corner or ceiling at all, because that'll mess things up like pretty significantly. Hold left a bit and then switch to holding right. Or the other thing you can do here is this, when you get to this part, just hold left for a little bit, like get a bit of a skid going, and then you can like jump to like this conveyor belt. And then do another full jump there. Keep holding right, and then this mantis is not anything to worry about at all whatsoever. You can just roll straight through like this. Just a bit before you actually touch the mantis, and then you'll roll through, land on this platform, give yourself some space to hold left for a bit, and then land here. And then you want to do like a full jump in the middle of this. And then around like this point of the platform, get a full jump out, and then you'll land on this platform right here, and then do another full jump, and then that's it. So that is like the initial like I would say the beginner movement for that level, and then once you get more comfortable, this is something. Well, let's see. Before I go to that, if you do this level well enough, you'll get like a 45 or a 46 IGT. But if you do this level the fast way, depending on how fast you do it, you can get like a 42 to around like a 43 or so. That's not like much time difference, so if you really struggle with doing the fast movement, then I would say just stick to like doing the movement that you saw from this video. But now I'm going to cover the fast Act 2. So this is this falling part's the same, but instead of doing a 4 tap, do a 2 tap, and then do a full jump here. And then do a full jump there. And then instead of just holding right, you want to stop and then get a 4 tap out before these pistons come down. And then for the majority of this part, after this like spin dash here, I don't hold right at all. I just go neutral. And then when you're around like on this slope right here, this is where you want to get a jump out, and then your jump will be angled like this. And then right here, just do like a mid jump here to like kind of get your jump to look like that. And then do a full jump when you're aligned with the middle of this. And then jump on that platform. But now what you're going to be doing here is you want to stop holding left at a certain point. I can't exactly say when this happens, like where you want to stop holding left, but you'll just have to get a feeling for it. But once you do, you'll land straight onto the slope, and then hold down, and then do a 1-tap spin dash, and then go up. That spin dash, once like you actually, if you do manage to land on that slope sometimes, which it won't happen all the time, depending on your timing, you're free to take your time a bit with making sure that spin dash actually comes out, and you're not doing things too quickly, so... And then right here, if you're more confident, you can like barely just tap this wall right here. This is like a mid-low jump, I would say, is what I do, or a mid one. And then if you want to do the loop jump here, that's fine. I personally find this loop jump to be a bit more tight to get than like this one because you have like more speed from the spring when you go through the first loop compared to the second one. So this is what I do here. I get that loop jump out, and then I kind of jump like right here. That's a fine like slope to jump on as well. If you're going at the speed, either like right here or right there works. And then this part's basically the same as what I showed in that initial video, but if you can manage to do it right before you go off edge here, you want to switch to holding left. And then try to angle yourself so you can like barely touch this yellow spring. And then right when that happens, hold right. Otherwise you'll end up like hitting the wall a bit. So do this part the same, these 3 jumps. And then you don't slow down here whatsoever. This is only if you dare so choose to do so. This is like, this too, right before I explain it, if you don't want to do it this way, this is totally fine. This only gains you, like, I would say maybe a bit under half a second or so. So don't worry about it if you don't want to do this. It's totally fine. So for doing this jump here, I switch from a whole... I do like my mid jump, like around right here. And then, kind of like right after you jump off from the ground, switch from holding left to right. And then you can, like, get, like, right here, like, very quickly, and then get your jump out, and then you'll touch these 2 yellow springs. And then, instead of slowing down here, you want to jump around, like, this point. Like, a bit after, like, these 2... red squares here, do that, and then you'll barely clear this corner here. Get another full jump out, and if you do like those 2 jumps a bit, like at any point, a bit too late, you'll end up hitting this wall, and this basically kills all your speed, so you have to do this part pretty tightly. And then instead of like slowing down a bit here and then getting your jump here or rolling down to it, you want to do like a jump right on the edge and then get another full jump out and then just do the ending of this as normal. So one more thing I want to cover real quick is if it does so happen that you accidentally bump like the slope or the wall here, like, see, like, right there. This happens, like, if you, like, jump at this sweet spot right here. If this happens, then, like, get, like, a 2-tap or 4-tap spin dash shot is what I do, as quickly as you can. Before these come down, and before this platform goes up too soon before you can get out, and that would, like, cause a crush death. And, yeah, there you go. Just do the rest of the levels, however you like. Alright, so that is it for the Gigantic Angel Acts 1 and 2. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to have the boss covered in a separate video because I personally found it to be a bit too difficult to try to explain Act 1 and 2 while I explain the boss well enough, so that'll be, like, in its own video. So, yeah, thanks for watching this, and have a fun time learning these levels before you do the dreadful Act 2 boss learning. Hello everyone, this is Xandre. I decided to take an unorthodox approach to this boss fight because it can vary quite wildly, and there's a lot of things that you can do different and RNG aspects that can just totally change the experience you have with this fight for like every time you try and practice it. So the first thing I want to talk about is there's 4 different elements to this boss fight. The first one is going to be the laser drops here that you'll see drop from Eggman in a bit. So those things that flash yellow and red, this is like the only element that's consistent in terms of like where they appear. And then the second element will be the missiles right there. These will just drop at random places, but the only consistent missile dropping is going to be this first one. And the third element is the speed at which like these missiles fall. But this missile in particular in all aspects is completely consistent with the positioning and the speed at which it drops. And then the fourth element is going to be the parts where Eggman dives down like that, and besides standing on top of like the explosions as like the boss's gimmick to try and get hits in, this is the second way that you can get hits. So there's 4 variations of this boss fight that I look at in terms of being able to like classify what kind of pattern might likely appear. So this one in particular is let's see. So that's the 4th variation where he drops like super quickly, but let me actually go to the save state. So the first one is where he drops down that early, like where he's like around right here. The second instance will happen right here. And then the third one will be around right here. And then from what you just saw earlier, the 4th one is right here as well, but he'll be like heading to the right direction instead. So this boss fight is can vary very differently based on like which of these 4 like classifications you get. As for getting the hits themselves, well, for this first part, you can do this in 2 different ways, where you can either, like, position yourself right here. There's, like, this, these 2 vertical lines that stretch across the entire screen that are in a black and a light blue color. Basically this thing right here. If you want to do, like, the first part of this fight, with like the damage boost, which lasts for about 4 to 5 seconds, then you would just like stand here. Otherwise, you can just kind of get out of the way and just proceed with this. You can choose to do this fight with no damage boosting at all, or you can do it with. Personally, I always like to go for the first one, and then once I get hit here, then I just like to grab like the rings that like fell to the left there really quick, and then I just proceed with the rest. So the second variation is where he drops like right here. Third one is there. And then the 4th one is once again right here. In general, you're going to be wanting like the first 2 patterns. The third one is okay, but the 4th one is actually the worst because in general, the sooner that Eggman gets his drops, the more likely that this boss fight will go through faster. So let me try and go through this like initial one. So the main gimmick is like just land these missiles, when he dives down, get the hits. But sometimes, if the elements of this boss fight align, like from where he drops the bombs and drops down, you can sometimes do something where you can get double hits. Where, like, say this bomb drops, I can try and get a double hit here. These are like really hard to get, and this will just come through with practice, but you'll be more comfortable doing like these double hit things here and then finish the boss fight real quick. So, these lasers here that I forgot to talk about, the first two, like, drop on this side of the screen, and then the next three, the ones that are relevant, like, once you get comfortable enough with this boss fight, will happen on this right side. Let me show, like, what that looks like real quick. So, you saw the first one happen on the left screen, the second one was to the left right there, third one was on that right screen, fourth one is there, and then the fifth one, well, the fifth one is on the left, but you only really have to worry about the first 4 or 5, but yeah, keep that in mind, that you want to look out for left, left, right, right, left. And that should help out quite a lot with, like, your positioning, for example. So there are some, like, sneaky, like, double hits, besides, like, the one that I showed earlier that you can get. This is something that you'll, like, best learn if you just, if you look through the videos that me, Joey, and Boone submitted in SRC, like our PB times and all that. The patterns are basically all different, and you can try and see, like, in which scenarios, like, with the bomb drops, the speed of them, and then, like, the dives, do we go about doing the double hits? That'll be your best bet, as well as just practicing this boss a lot. So, let me just try one example of getting, like, a good enough boss fight where he just dives down early, which is, like, the first pattern. So you can get a cheeky double hit if he does the early thing here. But then at this point, it might be placebo, but he becomes more aggressive all of a sudden. And yeah, I can see that, like, that was like a really hard double hit to try and get. But it's possible. If you jump, like, late enough and in a certain position with, like, that bomb drop was trying to get, then you can get it, but once again, not likely, and you'll just have to, like, practice that to truly get a feel for, but yeah, just like the Knuckles boss fight, this is going to be something that you'll have to go through the trial room a lot to practice, so I'll show what that looks like real quick. So once again, you go through this time trial thing from the main menu, and then you go to trial room, and then you go to time trial, and then select 6-2. Technically the level is not RNG whatsoever, but the boss fight is, unfortunately, depending on, like, the time at which you enter the level or reset it, so a lot of, like, you'll have to do a lot of observing with, like, the hits, the droppings, and all that, and then just watching that a lot, and then watching the PBs, and then actually practicing the level yourself all these, like, different various times. This is easily a boss fight that alone probably, like, made up about 40 or 50% of my total, like, practice time at this level, so this will be something that'll take a while to get used to, but even if you do, like, miss 1 or 2 hits, which each one basically makes you lose, like, 4 seconds each, it's not really a big deal, and there's certainly a lot of, like, other places in this run where you can make up for that lost time instead. So, don't be distraught, try your best, and good luck with learning this boss fight, and yeah, see you later.